Alright, level 3 of the Troublemaker Foods. Medical Medium by Anthony Williams. As I mentioned, all fish and seafood, except for salmon, trout, and sardines. As I mentioned, under tuna, there are varieties of fish that contain lower levels of toxic heavy metals such as mercury. Even though that's the case, there are other toxins in seafood that should concern us, that we don't want to accumulate in our systems, especially during a cleanse. We don't want to battle our detox with additional toxins. What are those other toxins? At the top of the list are dioxins, a historic industrial waste product. Dioxins are in everything already, with traces of them, sometimes at the mildest levels, in all foods. In fish, we're looking at larger amounts of dioxins. The reason that should concern us is that dioxins lower our immune system because a large part of our immune system is inside our lymphatic system, and that's where dioxins accumulate and pool when they first enter our body. Dioxins there end up hampering our lymphocytes. Dioxins act like a smokescreen or snowstorm that slows down and weakens the lymphocytes inside our lymphatic system. They are also an aggressive variety of free radicals, basically toxins that are destructive to the cells in our body. Fish happens to be high in dioxins because the ocean and freshwater sources are where the majority of dioxins flow. We don't want to be adding this variety of toxins to our bodies while cleansing. As you know by now, the immune system needs to be strong and reliable during a cleanse, not weakened. Dioxins can create cancer, in that they feed the aggressive viruses that can turn into and create cancer cells. Dioxins are a food that these pathogens like. That's one more reason to avoid most fish and other seafood when you're trying to cleanse and heal. Salmon, trout, and sardines are different in part because they are higher in trace minerals than other fish. That doesn't mean you should be eating salmon, trout, or sardines every single day unless you are really into fish. If you rely on it, these three are the best. If, on the other hand, you eat fish only because you're looking for beneficial omegas, you can obtain these omegas by consuming sea vegetables. Another reason to choose salmon, trout, and sardines over other fish and seafood is that they are lower in mercury, especially sardines. That's not to say they're mercury free. When you hear that salmon is farm raised, for example, don't let that mislead you into thinking that doesn't contain mercury, dioxins, or radiation from the ocean. Farm raised has additional concerns, such as antibiotics and antifungals used to keep the fish from developing fungus and bacterial infections, so it's not a safer bet. You want to go with wild-caught salmon, trout, and sardines if you can, due to the fact that you won't be dealing with those antibiotics and antifungals, both of which can contain toxic heavy metals too. Lastly, nuclear fallout and nuclear power plants discharging runoff have contaminated our oceans and waterways for decades. Sardines, salmon, and trout are better options than other fish and seafood because they're lower in radiation. Sardines especially due to their size. That doesn't automatically mean that all fish on the small side are lower in contamination. Some small fish, such as mackerel, are oilier and can contain more mercury. Why do oily fish and mercury go together? For the same reason that the fat cells in our body become intoxicated and loaded with heavy metals such as mercury, unknown to medical research and science, toxic heavy metals such as mercury dissolve and disperse within fats. This happens because the acids and fats cause a rapid oxidation process in mercury, and in turn, the metal expands and saturates the entire fat cell, making it even more toxic. While salmon may be oily and on the larger side, it's not the oiliest. It's one of the healthiest the ocean has to offer due to its trace minerals. If you want to eat some fish while trying to cleanse, make it wild-caught salmon, sardines, or freshwater trout. When it comes to fish oil supplements, don't get sold by advertising that says mercury free. This is a false claim. There is no technology that can completely free fish oil from mercury residue. The essence of mercury is still left behind in so-called clean fish oil, and it can be even more toxic than eating a can of tuna because of the engineering involved. The removal process creates a powerful homeopathic charge within the essence of mercury that's left behind in the fish oil. It's now in a much more methylated state, and that methyl mercury can travel deeper into cell tissue throughout the body. As an alternative, look for a fish-free EPA DHA supplement in my supplement directory. I didn't really know that, and it's crazy because my grandpa, he was having a lot of seizures and different things, almost in a vegetable state where he couldn't do much, and he was definitely taking fish oil, like, religiously, so, I mean, it wasn't helping. We take a lot of supplements and different things, and we keep taking them. If they were doing its job, I don't think we'd have to keep taking them unless we're being exposed to all these different things. Dun, dun, dun. So it's very interesting information.